We are talking about Kyiv, about the capital, because there was also a hit on the Okhmatdyt Children's Hospital. Just when there were children there, a certain number of them remain with limited mobility due to various ailments. Now the rubble is being dismantled. We will find out more detailed information later, but there is already a reaction from the head of the Ministry of Internal Affairs Ihor Klymenko. I will quote in more detail. This morning once again proved that Russia is a country of terrorists and freaks. Dozens of missiles hit cities during rush hour. A strike on the largest children's hospital in the country. At the moment, it is known about 7 dead and 25 injured as a result of the attack on Kyiv. Our local services are doing everything to rescue people from the rubble and provide assistance. The Russians also struck Dnipro, Kryvyi Rih, and Donetsk Oblast. In total, as a result of the morning attack of the Russian Federation on Ukraine, about 20 people were killed and about 50 were injured. Rescuers, police officers, dog handlers, explosives technicians, psychologists, all our services with the involvement of engineering equipment will work continuously until the search and rescue operations are completed, says Ihor Klymenko. We are already setting up psychological assistance points. Groups of investigators are working to record these crimes. This, by the way, is also very important so that later the international community cannot find a blind eye, as they sometimes like to do. Anyone who needs help can contact any employee of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Today, the country has felt not fear, but even more rage and hatred, adds Ihor Klymenko. There will be an answer for terror against civilians and children. We hope very, very much, and we are waiting for the reaction of the international community, because you see, we talked about the fact that they will express concern. So far there is no concern, but we are waiting and hoping that NATO countries will take into account the situation that took place on the eve of the summit, the alliance. After all, tomorrow it already begins. I would like to remind you that Ukrainian President expresses his hope that it will be possible to strengthen Ukraine with air defense. But how it will be, we will find out with you tomorrow. Meanwhile, photos of what the Okhmatdyt Children's Hospital, which was hit by the Russian occupiers, looks like now. These are horrible photos. To be honest, it hurts to look at them, because these are children who have been evacuated, children who, during air raids and enemy strikes, are forced to leave the place of their treatment, stay outside or in shelters. Obviously, this will not improve their physical condition, but we very, very much hope that nothing will threaten their health. We are also moving to Kryvyi Rih. Unfortunately, there are also casualties there. According to preliminary information, 10 people were killed. The Russians hit an industrial enterprise there. There are several hits in the city as a whole. The industry was also under attack. The head of the Kryvyi Rih military administration, Oleksandr Vilkel, said that the Russian invaders carried out a massive attack on the city. According to him, there is information about several hits at once, in particular on the administrative building of an industrial enterprise. The liquidation of the consequences is underway. Preliminarily 10 dead, 31 wounded are already in the hospital. 10 of them, unfortunately, are serious, says Oleksandr Vilkel. He clarifies that all emergency, communal and medical services are working at the sites of the hits. By this hour, I would also like to quote to you an appeal to the international community from the advisor, head of the Office of the President of Ukraine Mikhailo Podolyak in English, so that they do not have to translate. He talks about the situation, about the terrorist attack that Russia has caused today.
Розповідає про ту ситуацію, про ту терористичну атаку, яку Росія спричинила сьогодні.
I quote further, "We need to talk more about negotiations, peaceful settlement, effective mediation, and even more indecision, slow decisions and delays in voting to encourage the aggressor. And, of course, we need more peacekeepers who are serious about meeting with Putin." And then they tell amazing stories about the possibility of peace with the murderer, says Mikhailo Podolyak, probably alluding to Viktor Orban, who visited Moscow 2 days ago to talk to Putin about peace. All this, of course, is bitter sarcasm, says Mikhailo Podolyak, because today the collective subject Putin again said his weighty word by launching a large-scale missile attack on Kyiv. Ballistics and kinzhals, in large quantities with a carefully thought-out genocidal purpose, are aimed at the largest children's hospital, children. Russia is literally shouting in our faces, "Stop me, otherwise I will continue to kill your children, civilians and attack big cities." Conclusion? There are no conclusions, says Mikhailo Podolyak, because everything is too obvious. All it takes is courage to make the only right decision. Russia must sit in the dock. Russia must lose.